Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Ooh, welcome to Waffle Box.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
Gets the people going.
You ate birthday cake on the toilet?
Don't you?
But does it have a dildo and a bazooka being shot right at the camera?
No, it does not.
It sounds uncomfortable to me, and we're currently standing on the ground right now.
I might start using that as an insult. I might start calling people dumb dolphins.
Billiards is almost as old as craps and prostitution. What the fuck?
Oh, God. That's not where I thought it was going to go.
The stick you can use as a bat. You can play as a sword. You can just beat a fool with it. I think maybe the craziest thing I bought was like the Cheers box set.
And then suddenly she's having this conversation with this plank of wood, Judge 2x4, when she, instead of hitting the gavel, she just headbutts the desk. And that's final. Boom.
Whew, I for some reason know a lot about magic.
Ooh, welcome to Waffle Box, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, nothing, all at the same time. Episode 28. We got controversy in the Formula One World Championships. Peloton striking back. Awards season is amongst us, and much, much more. I am Mike Fish, and I am joined, as always, by the man who seems to be wearing, I believe, an Irish hat or Italian. The colors might not be coming through on the camera, but I believe it's Irish. It's Mr. Kush Hayes. Kush, how you doing, buddy?
What's good, y'all? Kush Hayes here, coming to you with the happiest of holidays on the horizon. Mike Fish, what's good, baby? How you doing?
I'm well. Just by the look of your face, was you aware that is an Irish hat celebrating hat?
I don't believe it's an Irish hat by any means. I feel like this is some Rasta colors, but it's unintentional. Green, yellow, and red.
Oh, it's yellow. Oh, okay, it looks white on the camera. It looks like that's what it looks like, the Irish flag. That's why.
No. Yellow.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Oh, yeah, there. Oh, yeah, I can see. Beautiful. Well, how was your week?
Busy. We're currently going through a storm right now, and the roof, despite having been worked on, is leaking in all the same spots again. So
excellent.
We sent out a little email to the powers that be and went, "Hey, detail A, detail Bravo, detail Charlie, and you know, I'd like to talk to the person that I spoke with earlier." And they gave me an email back saying, "Hey, Kush Hayes, we're going to forward this to that department, but we also don't have you on our computer." And it's just like, yo, me not being in your computer is a you problem. The roof leaking, while it is a me problem, is also a you problem. So let's not give me this fucking grief, because I'm taking care of senior citizens here. So let's handle that shit.
Sons of bitches. See, this is why you don't trust a man. See, they're always trying to save some dollars. They don't want to. They want to hang you out to dry, so you do it yourself.
I literally think it's just this one overzealous chick who's trying to put company and crown before just compassion is just trying to do her job, but at the same time, it's just like, hey, like I'm literally like giving out like key details. I'm mentioning like employee names. I'm giving specific dates. This isn't a prank, and regardless of, again, who's in the computer or whatever, like, don't knock that shit off. I don't have time for it. It gets me in an irritated place. I'm gonna tell you a little story real quick, Mike Fish.
Go for it.
Once upon a time, on these same premises, probably under a different property management company, same location still, we have on the premises laundromats, and there's 2 of them per block, and each room has 4 washers, 4 dryers. And for a long time they took coins, but then they started doing this card bullshit, and then thankfully someone decided to open up a third-party laundromat, and I've been going there ever since. Anyways, one of the last times I went to this on the premises laundromat, saw that the window had been busted. That's not anything new, Mike Fish. Kids play baseball in this little park all day long. Sometimes a window gets busted. Not a big deal, baby. I just move on, and I'm just taking care of my own business. I'm doing my laundry. The wash is done. The drying is done. Now we're getting to the folding part on the table. I accidentally drop a sock on the ground, and sure enough, it is right next to a trail of blood that is leading from that table all the way to the wash basin. What this tells you, Mike Fish, is that some dum-dum decided to put his fist through the window because there was broken glass on the outside of the premises. So he put his fist through glass, then was shocked to find out, like, oh shit, I just busted my hand up because I put my fist through glass. Then he decided to run, trailing blood all the way across the floor, and then decided to wash that shit off because he panicked. And then whatever happened from there happened from there. But upon putting all this together, I decided to call it in. And the first thing was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can take something down. Where do you live? What's your name? Like, that has nothing to do with anything here. Oh, I can't handle this if you don't tell me where your name is and where you live. I was like, my address doesn't matter right now. She says it one more time, and then I snap on her and I go, hey, look here. You got a pen? You got a paper? Write this fucking down. All right? Everything I just told you there, but you have to imagine much louder and much more boisterous because I was very upset at the time. And then she went, oh my God. Oh, and it was like, yeah, hey, it's a fucking biohazard. Just handle it. It's not a joke. Here are the details you need. Everything else, not a thing. Just
that guy needs anger issues. He's probably like, he did the usual where he got his stuff out of the dryer and was like pairing up his socks, and he's like, God damn it, I've lost a sock.
Nah, just kids being kids, honestly. I can tell you from experience, but I never put my fist through a window.
No, it doesn't seem like a smart thing to do.
Not a smart thing to do, but it's a college neighborhood, so lots of stupid people that are still learning, Mike Fish. They're still learning. But
some young whippersnappers.
Yeah, man. Otherwise, we just took it easy. We just soaked in the weekend. We watched some movies on the Brother-in-Law Network that are actually going to come up later today, or on this episode. Otherwise, very chill.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I'll tell you what I did. Now, I'm a big Formula One fan, motor racing.
Far out, man.
So I was brought up watching it with my own, I used to go to my grandfather's house and we would, have our Sunday roast dinner and watch the Formula One together. So I've been a big fan of that for about 25 years or so. And did you hear, because I'm assuming you're not mega into Formula One. I'm just going to put that.
I don't follow it. I believe is Le Mans part of the Formula One?
No.
Le Mans the bit? No. Okay, that's a different race from a different league. Okay, so I can't follow all of it, but I'm familiar with it, and I understand there was a controversy involving Mercedes this weekend, but that's about all I know.
Okay, so what happened? So there's Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen were the two drivers in contention for the World Championship. For the first time for however long I can remember, if ever, the last race came down and both drivers had the exact same points going into the final race. So it was literally winner takes all. So whoever finishes ahead is the world champion. Now, throughout the whole race, Lewis Hamilton had the lead. And he was a good 11, 12 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen. So it was looking all but over.
Okay, and now I'm going to pause you right here. So you just mentioned two names. Lewis Hamilton?
Yep.
Who is he?
So he is the British 7-time world champion who drives for Mercedes right now.
Right on. And the other gentleman?
Max Verstappen is the young up-and-coming, he's like 22, 23. He drives for Red Bull Racing.
Oh, okay. Those guys are shifty.
And they give you wings. But
Red Bull just came out of nowhere, right? Like, they just got mad. Red Bull's rocking like .com money that they shouldn't have.
They have, like, just to put you in perspective of how much money they have. Like, Formula One is an extremely expensive sport to take part in. Mm-hmm. Like, literally, major car manufacturers are like struggling to stay into it. Like Honda, for example, who they're not doing too bad, but even they were like, this is too rich for our blood. So just to run one Formula One team is very expensive. Red Bull have 2 teams in this championship. That's how much ridiculous money they have. They can have 2 teams.
Wow.
Whatever.
Did it Red Bull 1 and Red Bull 2, or what are
No,
they?
so it's Red Bull Racing is the main one, and then their second team is called Alpha Tauri, which is apparently Red Bull's fashion brand. Which apparently Red Bull has a fashion brand. I haven't actually
Deflated balloon.
Yeah, I haven't looked up their line of their winter collection, but I'm sure it's fantastic.
I've always had a bone to pick with Red Bull because after seeing, hearing that they sponsor 2 Formula One teams, and
no, they don't.
Seeing all the other,
they don't sponsor; they own them.
Then hearing that they own 2 teams and own everything else they do, and build like 10-story snowboarding ramps and half pipes, when I hit them up for just $10,000 to sponsor, hey man, I'll change the whole fucking name to Red Bull Wrestling. All right. That shit would be fly as fuck. They're like, we don't really see anything in pro wrestling. It was like, you're literally doing street luges, bitch. All right. You're doing shit that no one gives a shit about. Like, I've got an audience here. Fuck you, Red Bull. Give me money. It might be a little hostile episode tonight, Mike.
I didn't realize
you're bringing up memories here.
Sorry, buddy.
Anyways,
anyway,
players. So we're on the track, dude. Both players have the same amount of points, neck and neck. This is the rubber match. This is do or die. Break it down.
So with, I believe it was 6 laps to go, a young man called Nicholas Latifi, unfortunately, puts his car into the barrier, and now he has a car that has only 3 wheels, not moving on the track. To which the FIA released the safety car, which is basically
FIA is
the Formula something association. I don't know what it stands for,
okay.
but they're like the governing body of Formula One.
Okay.
So the safety car, for anyone who don't know, is obviously a sports car that goes very fast, but not as fast as obviously a Formula One car can. So it's basically designed for the Formula One cars to trail behind slowly. So rather than going around the circuit in 1:30, they're now going around in like 3 minutes. So that gives time for other people to jump on the track to clear the car and clear up the mess. Hence, safety car. Now, so what they're saying is, but at this point,
it's your mom's Chevy Tahoe.
Yeah, with like a cardboard in one of the windows because it got smashed out. So at this point now, Lewis Hamilton is number 1, but there's 5 cars in between him and Max Verstappen, who's in second place because they've been lapped.
Okay, dig it.
So what Mercedes are saying is they shouldn't have let those lapped cars come out of the way. So sometimes what they do is release the lapped cars so that the cars are now in order again, so we can actually go racing competitively.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
So what they did, because it was approaching the final lap of the race. So obviously Mercedes were saying, hey, we just need to end the race under the safety car and Lewis Hamilton wins. Whereas obviously Red Bull was saying, the track is clear, let's go racing. And what they did was allowed the cars between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen to get out of the way, but not the other lapped cars, which they're saying it should have been all or none. But the FIA is saying, well, there wasn't time. We wanted to get racing. And so in that time, Max Verstappen went into the pit lane and changed into new, fresh tires, whereas Lewis Hamilton was on old tires. And then once they went racing for literally the final lap, Max Verstappen pisses past Lewis Hamilton, backs off into the distance and wins the race and wins the championship. So obviously there's controversy and people upset because Lewis Hamilton had the lead by 11 laps. He was dominating the race. He was bound to be the winner, and then suddenly the safety car happens and he loses. And Mercedes have appealed, as they would, but funny enough, the FIA said...
I heard they appealed twice.
They appealed twice, and twice the FIA said, no, we liked our decision. It was a pretty good decision. And so Max has been officially deemed as the world champion. Now, apparently, Mercedes still think they're going to appeal the appeal or something. I don't know if they're going to go to the Court of Sport Arbitration or whatever it is. It's becoming ridiculous now.
Wow. Mercedes is just like they need to win this.
But here's what my take is from this.
Break it down, Mike.
So Mercedes at this point, before this race, were 7-time constructors champion, which means so they had the drivers championship and then the constructors championship. So because each team has 2 drivers. So for the constructors championship, they combine the 2 members of that team's points together to find out who the best team is. So Mercedes were like 7 times in a row. Their driver had won the world championship 7 times in a row. So it's kind of like, do you really need this? Like, are you really going to make yourself look that petty? Like, you lost.
We need 8. We need 8.
But what's hilarious, because this is a huge thing in the UK, because obviously Lewis Hamilton was going for his 8th world championship, which means he would have been more world champions than Michael Schumacher. Now, I'm assuming you at least know the name Michael Schumacher because he's like a very famous person. Just nod and pretend that you do. Thank you. So millions and millions and millions of people. They even, because in the UK, it's just shown on Sky Sports, which is essentially a cable channel you have to pay a little bit extra to get. But the government intervened or something and said, you have to show this on free television because this is such a huge event. Like this was like mega in the UK. And so as you can imagine, there's lots of people, 1, who watched this race who probably never watched a Formula 1 race before. And 2, there's lots of British people. So the outcry is that, and it's been hilarious. So I've been listening to a lot of like sports radio and reading people's comments on Twitter. And it's so hilarious. Like even you can understand this because obviously you have no idea what's going on in Formula 1. But even you can understand how ridiculous it sounds when you have people literally saying this word for word. I heard someone say this. I've never watched a Formula 1 race before. However, what happened was a farce and it has brought the sport into disrepute. Like, how do you know this is a farce? You have no idea what's happened before this.
Everyone's the armchair race driver now.
But what's hilarious, you have other people who are actual experts who are saying, this kind of thing happens semi-regularly. But it's just what happens is because it's like the British guy, people are throwing their toys out the pram. And trust me, if the result happened the other way around and Max Verstappen was in the lead and Lewis Hamilton was in second place and changed his tires to the faster tires and then beat him on the last lap, majority of people who are crying foul about this would be rejoicing, talking about how amazing, exciting it was, and Lewis Hamilton just showed he's the best because he didn't give up and blah, blah, blah. They'd be like so over the moon, but apparently this is bringing the sport into disrespect.
We have disgraced the honor of Formula 1.
It's so embarrassing. It's just so that's the controversy. But basically, what the controversy is that a bunch of people who hardly watch Formula 1 are just butthurt because their fellow British person didn't win and someone else won. Whatever.
Are you happy with the results though, Mike Fish?
I'm happy with the result because I am a Red Bull fan. Sorry. But no, it was 2004 they entered Formula 1. And it was like at the time, obviously, you had like the big car. You had Ferrari, or you still do Ferrari, then Williams, who were a big team at the time, McLaren, Mercedes, who were a big, and then suddenly you had this energy drink company come in, try to compete. And I was like, this is hilarious. Like I'm getting on their bandwagon. And so I've kind of followed their journey throughout. So yeah, I was very happy to see them win. But don't get me wrong. For anyone who's going to watch this and comment, I agree. What did happen was very unfortunate, and I do feel for Lewis Hamilton because it is a sucky way to lose. I totally get that. But this is Formula 1, baby. I'm sorry. What happened is fair. Just get over it. You've got 7 world championships. You've got a bunch of money. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Now, Formula 1 is a for better or worse a circle. You're going one direction the entire time, but you're always looping, right? I'm sure there's twists and turns and curves.
Yeah, so it's a circuit, but there are lefts and rights and
dig it. Okay. All right.
So
it's not
it's a lot
straight line
more-
is what we're getting.
It's a lot
not
more
a straight line.
exciting than no, that's drag racing,
Yes, I understand.
and it's a lot more exciting than NASCAR, which is
Okay.
literally just round and around and around and around. Which I have no idea why people enjoy that.
Copy that. Copy that. Copy that. Do you remember the first time you had a Red Bull, Mike Fish?
Yes. Well, not the
Break it
exact.
down.
I mean, time and date, but
You don't have to have the exact time and date, but what was the circumstances? What were the events that surrounded that? What made you buy that Red Bull, or at least go like, I will try this thing in an 8-ounce can?
well, fun fact: I've never bought a can of Red Bull ever, but I'm sure the I can't remember the exact circumstance, but I'm sure I was tired, in need of perking up, and someone suggested, try this. And it felt like I had poured someone who'd mixed cold urine and some sugar together. And I was like, this is disgusting.
Oh, no. Wow.
So yeah, I'm not a big fan of Red Bull. But have you ever had, I don't know if it's a thing over here, have you had a Jaeger bomb?
Yes.
Where it's Jägermeister and Red Bull?
I've had a single Jaeger bomb. It was maybe over plus a decade ago, and I didn't care for it. I don't like Jaeger to begin with.
No.
Jaeger honey is good, whereas Jägermeister is awful.
So obviously, Jägermeister, for those who don't know, is you pour some Red Bull in a glass and then you drop a shot glass of Jägermeister in and then you drink it and it mixes together. Now, weirdly enough, I do not like the taste of Jägermeister. I do not like the taste of Red Bull. However,
Okay.
I don't mind a Jägermeister. I'm going to say that. I don't mind. I've had a couple in my time, but I don't like the taste of them individually. So I remember one time that I was about to do a Jaeger bomb. So I had my glass of Red Bull, and I had my shot glass of Jägermeister.
Mhm.
And I guess as I dropped it into the glass, I got, too excited and started turning the glass. So as the shot glass fell, it fell away from me.
Mhm.
So all I did was just a shot of Red Bull, and then the shot glass tips over, and then I just have the shot of Jägermeister. So I had like one after the other rather than the mixture, and it was the most foul thing I've ever tasted.
I didn't know you could drink Red Bull incorrectly, but apparently you did. So
If there's a wrong way of doing it, I'll find it.
you copy that shit.
My friends used to have
first time I had.
No, I was gonna say my friends used to say I had like it's my chalkboard where I would work even if there was a win-win situation, I would somehow work out how to lose in that situation.
Okay,
It was a talent of mine.
I'd probably keep that to myself, but okay. The first time I had Red Bull, I was getting ready to walk into the Michael Douglas, Sean Penn film, The Game, and I was like, Red Bull, there's no alcohol in this. Okay, that's good. I have to be at work in like 3 hours. I used to work at UPS on the graveyard shift at this time, so I was going to catch the opening showing of this movie, and then go to work from there with some friends. Otherwise, I drank it. I was like, it tastes like bubble gum. All right, I don't hate it, but I don't understand it either. And this is probably not going to be here in 6 months because beverages just come and go all the time. And I used to work at a grocery store, so they just come and go all the time. And Red Bull has been here ever since.
Our house, and I don't think it's ever going to go away because it's become one of those. I mean, we could play a game on this. Maybe we'll do it another time when I have more time to prep. But it's become one of those things that the brand has taken over the product. Like, so
Yes,
even if you have like a Monster energy drink or anything like that, you just say, "Oh, I'm having a Red Bull." Red Bull has replaced the term energy
really?
drink. Yeah,
I disagree with that.
It's like
I definitely disagree with that.
It's like like an iPod. People use iPod when they just mean MP3 player. It doesn't matter what the brand is. They always
No one has an iPod. Other than Kush Hayes here, no one has an iPod anymore.
You're missing the point.
No, you're explaining it incorrectly, sir. I understand what you're saying, but you're explaining it bad.
Maybe
All
I'm just
right.
giving bad examples.
You are.
And you're just
I'm
being-
sorry to tell you that.
Facetious.
Me and
Anyway.
Kush Hayes, I'm calling you out on it.
Let's move on to another thing that I'm sure you're not a huge fan of.
Greatest transition ever.
Yeah. Sex in the City is back, baby.
You know what? I'm a big fan of the Sex and the City TV series. I have not seen either of the movies. It was a great series, dude.
Never watched an episode in my life. I'm sure I've been in the room when the movies on. They look terrible. My favorite summarization.
I had one of the greatest nights ever when that movie came out. I still didn't have to see it, and it was because every chick in the world dressed up to 11 at that night, and I was like, "Yeah, son, you're gonna have to fill in the blanks on all of that." But
I got it.
It was definitely because of Sex and the City, the movie, and I got nothing but mad love for that shit.
Beautiful.
Having said that, I didn't watch the news, the season opener of and all that.
Me neither. But for those who don't know what Sex and the City is, as Family Guy once summarized, it's a TV show about 3 hookers and their mum, which I thought was a great summary. It's not really. Don't get upset at me. But yes, they're back in a new show called Just Like That. Except one of them's not in there anymore. Who's in it? Who's not in it? Sarah Jessica Parker.
Kim Cattrall. No,
No, Sarah
Sarah
Jessica
Jessica Parker
Parker
is
Kim
the
Cattrall.
backbone of that fucking show. Yeah,
Kim Cattrall is it? Star
Kim
of
Cattrall
Mannequin.
is just like Kim Cattrall's a badass, yo. Don't disrespect Cattrall.
And she was in my favorite movie of all time, Big Trouble in Little China.
She's in Big Trouble in Little China. She's in the original Police Academy. She's in a bunch of shit, man. But she had a fantastic argument. Everyone loved Carrie, but everyone also loved Samantha. All right. And Samantha was what everyone wanted to be. Despite if you were a Charlotte or a Miranda, everyone wanted to be the Samantha or the Carrie. Everyone wanted to be the Samantha.
Sure. This all sounds good. This is like I love this. This is like the tables have turned. Like after that conversation about Formula One, where you just kind of sat there, blank faced, nodding at me, while you're talking about Sex and the City, I'm just like, sure, this is awesome.
You would like Sex and the City, Mike Fish.
Maybe.
Except for the parts you wouldn't.
I'll just take your word for it. But yes.
Take my word for it.
So big headline. And if you haven't watched any of the Just Like That and you are wanting to, spoilers alert, there's going to be some spoilers over the next like 5 minutes. So if you want to fast forward, just so you don't find out the spoiler, go now. All right. So apparently one of the characters, who I believe is Sarah Jessica Parker's love interest, Mr. Big.
Chris Noth.
Yeah. So he dies. He gets killed off in the show after having a heart attack whilst riding a Peloton bike.
I didn't watch that, but I am surprised they did that shit.
Now, the big controversy is that shares in Peloton dropped 16% after this episode aired. Which
this is terrible news because
hilarious.
Little Sister Hayes is a part of the Peloton cult. A warrior princess, FYI for everyone out there who wants to follow her. She is all about her Peloton. Multiple times she has tried to get me a Peloton, and I'm really like, I got no room for a Peloton, even if I was serious about that shit. And I'm not serious about this shit, but even if I was, there's no room for that shit. So, no Peloton. But people love their Pelotons, Mike Fish.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, even if I wanted a Peloton bike, I'm not under any situation where I'm like, I've got this like $2,000 just sitting here. I have no idea what to do with it. I know I'll buy a bike with a TV screen on it. But yeah, it's hilarious. Some of their classes are hilarious because I'll overhear it in the other room because she has one. When they're playing music, they just try to connect the lyric or the song title into the workout. It's like, every woman. Yeah, Peloton, we are every woman. We're all together here. It's like, oh my God, every song. Anyway,
Good production. That's good production. I respect that.
no, respect the hustle. Respect the hustle. But yes, so
Respect the hustle.
Peloton shares dropped 16% after this episode aired. To which they had to respond by saying, I don't think it was the Peloton that killed him. He probably had some health issues before this, blah, 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 blah. Forgetting that this is a fictional character. But what the share
People
prices...
don't care. We don't care. You killed big. You killed big.
What it means, though, is the share prices drop. That means that investors, smart people, well, I'd like to think they're smart people anyway, legitimately thought people would stop buying Peloton bikes because a fake human being died. That's hilarious to me.
Mm-hmm. Imagine an obese person who is literally on the cusp of finally changing their life, Mike Fish. Okay, they're right there. Like, I love eating this, and I love eating that, and I love not doing any of that other stuff. But my health means a lot to me. All right, I'm gonna get a Peloton. Everyone loves it. They say it's the easiest workout in the world. I mean, it's hard, but like there's a lot of support with that. Okay, like there's support in that. You're gonna get your goal. You just gotta work for it. And then the Sex and the City spinoff happens, and Big dies. Fuck that. No, if it can happen to him, it can happen to any of us. Okay, no.
I also love it, but Peloton obviously had to sign off on this product placement. So the creators of this show was like, "Hey, can we feature a Peloton bike on our show?" And Peloton was probably like, "Yeah, sure." Like, what are you going to do with the bike? No, nothing. What?
They read all of that shit. They understood what was going to happen. They didn't think it was going to be this. It is clearly just they underestimated their own brand, and good for them.
But then the good people at Peloton hired Mr. Ryan Reynolds' production company or advertising agency, I guess, I believe it's called Maximum Effort, which is a throwback to Deadpool. If you are listening, I'm actually wearing a Deadpool Christmas sweater. It's very nice. To which they had the actor who played Mr. Big there on the couch with a young lady. And he's like, hey, and she's like, hey, how you doing? And she's like, oh my God, you look great. And she's like, oh yeah, I feel great. And then he's like, hey, do you fancy another ride? Wink, wink. You only live once or something like that. And then it pans out and they've got two Peloton bikes. As if, hey, they both drive Peloton bikes. And then Ryan Reynolds does the voiceover where he's kind of like, Peloton can always improve your heart. It's always good for your health and blah, 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 blah. Oh, he's alive. And that's where the commercial ends. It's very well done.
Simple solution. I like it. I approve.
And I haven't checked, but I'd like to think share prices increased because that is ridiculous. I mean, not that I care about Peloton shares, but that is a ridiculous reason for share prices to drop. It's a fake character. It's not a real human being. Get over it.
Bigger companies have had bigger drops from stupider issues. Honestly, stupider, hollower, endemic issues. No references, I'm sorry, to pull from, but you can do Google if you want. Otherwise,
you could do it Google.
Even if they didn't get Ryan Reynolds involved, they're going to bounce back from that. That's not going to be an issue. It's going to be a one-time thing. But yeah, that's wild, Mike Fish.
I smiled too, and that's the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to some more TV shit.
Yeah, man.
So you watched? I didn't watch. I didn't know this was on, but the comedy special spectacular, which aired, was it ABC and then Hulu on the next day?
Yeah, like I think it was last Wednesday as we were dropping this.
But maybe I'm gonna have to to check this out if it's still on Hulu, because all I saw on the poster, it had John Lithgow, and so all I need to know. If it's in it, I'll check it out. But
He's great in it.
Tell me more. Educate me on this family fun special that aired the other
so
night.
this is the third special called Live in Front of a Studio Audience. It's produced by Jimmy Kimmel. It's featuring the works of Norman Lear. There's an asterisk to this. I'm going to get into that in just a little bit. But again, this is the third time they did this. So the first time they did All in the Family and the Jeffersons. And what that means is they took an original script from both of those series that I just mentioned. They got today's actors, like for again, All in the Family, Carol O'Connor is normally Archie Bunker. They got Woody Harrelson to play Archie Bunker. Doesn't that sound fun? It sounds fun.
Woody
and
Harrelson's
then
fun.
There was a bunch of other actors involved that all took places of those individual characters, Meathead and the chick and Edith and so. And they just reenacted that episode. It was episode number ****. It debuted on date X, Y, and Z, and they just redid it. And I'm sorry to say, I did not get to see those first 2 episodes, man. And they're once a year specials. I think COVID interfered and everything. There might be 4 of these now, but as of now, we did number 3. So we did The Facts of Life and Different Strokes. Now, Different Strokes premiered first. It was on NBC. It came out in 1992, and Mrs. Garrett was the maid in Different Strokes. Are you familiar with Different Strokes, Mike Fish?
Isn't that what you talking about, Willis?
That is the one indeed.
Then I am familiar with Gary Coleman's work.
All right. Did you see all of it? Did you see a little of it? Are you unsure? No wrong answers.
Sporadically. But yeah, I wouldn't say I watched it episodically. I'm not hugely familiar with it.
Fair enough. So, from Different Strokes, we spun off the series and we created a whole other thing called The Facts of Life. Now, Mrs. Garrett was a maid in Different Strokes, and then she went on to get a teaching job or more of a chaperone job at this private high school called Eastland. We're going to call it Eastland.
Sounds good.
In whatever East Coast Pennsylvania neighborhood. And then she had her own series for another 6 years till she died. And then the series went on for like another year and a half. Norman Lear apparently took the helm of Facts of Life. Why he's not involved in Different Strokes is weird, because everything about this thing is focused on Norman Lear. Norman Lear did this. Norman Lear did that. He's amazing. I'm not going to dispute any of that. His life before he got into film and television is pretty fascinating too. He was in the Air Force. He was part of a bomber squad. He had 52 missions in World War II, and then he went into just television, and that was 1956. Like, it's fascinating what the career Norman Lear has had. So I absolutely get why we're celebrating him. Having said all that, delightful special. It's currently on Hulu as we speak today, as this drops. You should check it out. The first 2 episodes not available. I'm super disappointed because I still have not seen them, but I would like to.
Yeah, strange. You'd have thought they would have those on demand as well, especially around this time of year. So you could watch them all.
Yes, I agree 1,000%. Ann Dowd plays Mrs. Garrett. She's in both episodes of this series, but we open up with The Facts of Life, despite it being the spinoff of Different Strokes. And Jennifer Aniston, Gabrielle Union, Catherine Hahn, Jon Stewart, they're all a part of this episode. I'm sorry I didn't mention the woman who played Natalie, but I don't recognize your name. And you're not Ann Dowd, because she is in both of these things. Anyways, they rebuilt the entire set of this. Are you familiar with Facts of Life at all, Mike?
No.
Okay, so again, like I said, it was a spinoff of Different Strokes. It was about Mrs. Garrett goes to this all-girls high school it's a private school. The wealthiest is the wealthiest. There's the rich chick, the fat chick, the black chick, and then Joe, who somehow got there on a scholarship, and she's the rebel of the group.
Classic.
And they had adventures. And then 4 years went by, they graduated high school, and then they opened up a candy shop. That's not important. What is important is they
Sounds like an
went
interesting
through
show.
this original script. It was an interesting show, man. It was ahead of its time. They tackled issues of that time. I would have to brush up on my facts of life to talk better about it. However, this was like a 1-for-1 shot of it. Like the chick who played Joe looked like Joe. Gabrielle Union looked like Tootie, had all the facial mannerisms. Jennifer Aniston might actually have been miscast as Blair. But again, Ann Dowd, 100%. She played Charlotte Ray as Mrs. Garrett. Jon Stewart's a cameo. And then we get two other gentlemen from Arrested Development who actually Jason Bateman, and then I'm just gonna forget his name, who also on Arrested Development. Jason Bateman, also going all the way back to the 80s.
It's not
Deep breath.
what is his name? Because does it get the guy who did Lego Masters?
Yes,
Will Arnett.
he was in Will Arnett. Thank you. Will Arnett and Jason Bateman doing their Arrested Development cameos. Anyways, everyone is great in this, man. This was as near as 1-for-1 as you could get with a reenactment of this series. Would it have been nice if they could have done a brand new original script? Maybe, but no one wants that. And most of today isn't familiar with that.
Well, it's kind of like when you see, like, let's say one of your favorite bands from the 80s and you go see them live, and then they start off playing like their new music, and you're like, oh, just play the classics. I just want to hear the classics,
Yes.
man.
I hear what you're saying, but in this case, I don't think today's audience, anyone that's even watching regular cable terrestrial TV, is even familiar with the Facts of Life or Archie Bunker or Good Times or Different Strokes. Different Strokes, while I was confused why it wasn't the opener, I understand why it was the closer, because it had all the star power. It was the most interesting script of the two. It was just entertaining overall. And we're talking John Lithgow, we're talking Kevin Hart, we're talking Damon Wayans Sr.
Senior, eh?
Senior. I thought it was weird that they cast 55-year-old Damon Wayans to play Todd Bridges, Willis Jackson, but they did. He did great. Damon, forgive me for doubting Damon Wayans Sr. Fantastic episode. Again, Ann Dowd, part of both episodes. She plays Mrs. Garrett in both episodes. And Kevin Hart playing Arnold Jackson. FY, just goddamn delightful. Yeah. Arnold Jackson was, Gary Coleman, who played Arnold Jackson, was also probably about 17 when he was playing this 8-year-old boy.
So I guess it makes sense.
He went through a lot of shit, man, but he was that tiny and that cute, and he made it work, and that's what was up. Snoop Dogg makes a cameo in that part of the episode, and then I'm surprised. I don't remember if Dana Plato's character was in it whatsoever, but she's definitely not in this episode. So I thought that was a little bit odd. Otherwise, the live in front of a studio audience special was fantastic. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. We don't do TV reviews, but we did tonight. And if you can and you remember it or you would like to check it out, You should, because it's the original sets. They did not spare any expense. I'm sure that shit is easy to reproduce if it's not already in storage, but it was all the nostalgia factors were hitting.
Well, I will definitely check it out. Does Kevin perform the line perfectly?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, right away too. It's amazing that thing is only once per episode, because you expect to hear it like 4 or 5 times, but no, he hits it. He hits it right. It's where it should be.
And I'm assuming when it's called live in front of a studio audience, it was filmed in front of a live studio audience, I'm assuming.
They had 6 cameras just on the main set. Some of them were I want to say the original cameras for the time, and then 1 or 2 just handheld or steady cameras where there's a whole apparatus attached to your mic fish, and then you still got your camera. You can move around, and the shot remains still despite whatever obstacle you have to move around. Okay, that's a steady cam. But with those 6 cameras focused on this itty bitty little set, yes, there was a whole jib cam that caught an audience of like 250 people, maybe.
It's more than I expected.
Like, not everybody got the best view of this set. I'm going to tell you that.
I do remember the good old shows, the live studio audience. Like, I think more recently, I guess I remember when, like, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, when they would sometimes interact with the audience. Like during the episode, they would break the fourth wall, and like Will Smith would be like running around, and you'd see him running into the crowd, and they back onto the set and carry on the scene. It was very clever, very fun.
Yeah. I don't know how many times it happened before Fresh Prince, but that definitely didn't happen in Facts of Life or Different Strokes. But he was one of the first guys to let that happen.
So 5 out of 5 for this comedy special, live in front of a studio. It's available now on Hulu. Check it out. I certainly will, and you should too. Speaking of, let's wrap this show up. Last subject we got tonight is we got the Golden Globes among us. The amazing Golden Globes, which I believe is happening on January 6th or 9th, January next year.
Did you actually get a date? Because I looked everywhere and I could not find a date.
It's definitely early January. I think obviously the big issue is, as of right now, no one's airing it on TV. Because
that's right. So NBC used to have the contract for this, and they went, "We're not going to do the next one. You guys got a lot of bullshit going on in your institution, and
we don't want to get wrapped up in that." Yeah.
That's right. So Golden Globes 79.
I'm sure they'll be able to stream it on like their website or something,
on YouTube even, or Twitch TV or whatever. Yeah. Or guess what? They print the entire list the next day, folks. It's going to be okay. We'll catch some Twitch and some oh, God damn it, TikTok. We'll get some TikTok videos out of this.
Now, obviously, we're not going to go through because they announced the nominations Monday or Sunday. On Monday. Now, obviously, you may have to appreciate there is roughly around about 96 categories.
Yeah, there's too many categories to go through all of them. We're not going to do that.
We're just going to hit the main ones and see what we think. So let's start off with best motion picture drama. Is that
for the best motion picture drama? So we got 5 movies. We got Belfast. We got Coda. We got Dune, we got King Richard, and we got something called The Power of Dog. The Power of the Dog.
I know of the hair of the dog, but I've never heard of The Power of the Dog.
The Power of the Dog is the only movie on this list I haven't heard of. It is apparently a Netflix movie. We're going to hear from it a lot in the next 10 minutes here, but it is tied with Belfast, which we mentioned earlier, for 7 nominations, and of the most nominations of this whole series here. So I just happened to see Belfast the other day. It's not bad. It's not good. Kenneth Branagh always delivers
He is
something
very
fantastic.
good. He is very
He
good.
is
Whether he's
also,
acting or directing, he's very good.
He is also a Best Director nomination, but I didn't care about anything I was watching, and the little boy that they focus on for the whole thing annoyed the shit out of me. I was just like, well, he's no Jojo Rabbit. He's no Jojo Rabbit. Sorry, Belfast.
Jojo Rabbit did feature an amazing young gentleman. I will say that. That's good call. Good call.
Yeah.
But
I felt like they were trying to build upon that. I could be wrong. I'm a jerk off sometimes, but I felt that's where they were going with that. The poster, the marketing, it's all trying to be like Jojo Rabbit minus Hitler.
which is, I guess, isn't a bad thing.
Minus
But,
Hitler, not a bad thing.
But see, the thing with these award shows, not just this one, all of them, it's not necessarily like when you're picking who do you think is going to win, it's not a case of, well, I saw all 5 and I believe this one was the best one, so that one's going to win. You have to, it's almost like, okay, which one are the people who decide the winner, who are they going to pick? You know what I mean? It's like, and for me, I just think because of all the hype around it and blah, 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 I think there's only one winner of this one. I think June's going to win this one.
You think Dune's going to win? Maybe. Not impossible. I think Dune is the worst one out of all of these, at least of the
That's
ones
what I'm saying,
I've
but I'm not saying that. But it's how they play the game. I think
so. What do you know about the Golden Globes, Mike Fish? Because you were confusing it with the Grammys. So what do you know about it?
Well, I got confused because they both begin with G. That's about it.
Wrong answer.
The Grammys music. Music. This is movies.
The Golden Globes is run by an organization sponsored by the Hollywood Foreign Press.
Boo!
No, there's no boo.
Boo those people.
They're going to need to change their name, sure, because that's a whole other story. We'll get into that next week, maybe. The Golden Globes is run by the Hollywood Foreign Press, and there's maybe 96 people involved in it, whereas opposed to the Academy Awards, it has like 5,000 plus votes involved in it. Are you getting the ratio here? Okay, so where 5,000 votes is kind of a mathematical thing, like, well, all these people like it, and all these people, their waves and this and that and the other. Whereas these 96 people, they just might want to party with people like Kenneth Branagh or the chick from Licorice Pizza.
Hey, Leonardo DiCaprio, if we let you win, will you?
Leonardo DiCaprio,
will you wingman for us?
Great call. And Leo's come to the show. He's like, yeah, it's great food. It's an open bar. Yeah, I might get drunk. It could happen. So it's a completely different body of work. It's a weird list this year, though. I'm not gonna lie, dude. So,
well, do you think? Okay, because obviously the big controversy was
what's the controversy?
Well, they always talked about their non-diversity, right?
Okay.
Was that am I wrong in that? That's what I thought.
No, there's a big controversy with diversity with the Hollywood Foreign Press.
So I wouldn't be sure because I haven't really. Again, I just looked at the main ones. I haven't looked into the big. But do you think it could be kind of random? It's just because they've just tried to look like they're making an effort, and they've just kind of picked. Oh, this woman's Hispanic. Boom, that'll do. We'll put her on the list. That way, we look good. Do you think there's an element of that?
Yes, but no. I think most of their correspondence. Again, this is the Hollywood Foreign Press. So this is every correspondent outside of the United States. All right, so it's France, it's England, Scotland, Ireland, Holland, Morocco,
Other
et
such
cetera, et
countries
cetera.
aren't America.
All the countries I named, and then a bunch of ones that aren't white. All right, and it gets a little more sheltered as we go along. Okay, so not everyone has access to all these movies. Okay, they're
Well, maybe
we're
don't
not
have an
gonna.
award ceremony then about movies if you don't have access to the movies.
No, you can have any award ceremony for anything you want, but you can't. It look, dude. The World Series doesn't involve the world. Right? It
No, but it's not
involves the
down to a
United
vote.
States and parts of Canada. All right, but it's a lot of semantics here. All right, so it's just who we have invited to the table here, and that's what they're trying to figure out. So there's probably a guy from Japan, there's probably a guy from China, or a lady. All asterisks, please excuse me.
Move on.
There's yeah, Europeans and Russians and this and that and the other and Latinos, and but it's all exhausting, and they're focusing on too many things other than the art. So you aren't wrong, Mike Fish. There's always been a controversy about diversity, but it's these folks just want to hang out with the people they want to hang out with, and that's what it is.
Ooh. What's next? Because I've got one that I think is going to
Break
be
it
the
down.
most interesting one. But what other categories would you like to highlight?
I got director and screenplay. That's it.
All right, best director, best on my long list because I printed out all of them like an idiot, and there are
There's like 89 out of them.
it's ridiculous. Okay, best director of a motion picture: Kevin Branagh, Jane Campion, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Steven Spielberg, and Denis Villeneuve. That's gonna be a tough
so
one.
we're talking
That's
Belfast. We're talking The Last Daughter. I don't know what The Last Daughter is. We're talking West Side Story. We're talking Dune. We're talking. Oh my god. The goddamn Netflix movie. The Power of the Dog.
It's the power of dog.
Yeah. Again, Belfast and The Power of the Dog are the biggest nominees in this thing. 7 apiece. I don't know anything about The Power of the Dog. It's one of those things like I rarely
They have
watch
amazing
Netflix, but I
hearing.
still peek in and like, what are you going to try and recommend to me now, Netflix? And it's just like, well, I don't want to watch any of that. But Power of the Dog is not anything on my radar here, so I will have to go and watch that after this premieres. Otherwise, here Belfast, maybe the best directed. I can't believe Dune is directed because Dune is half a fucking movie. All right. It literally says part 1. We cannot award a part 1.
And also,
Can't award anything that identifies as part 1.
So you cannot tell me because there's 5 movies nominated. You cannot tell me there's at least one other director out there who did a better job than Denis Villeneuve, who spent literally half of the movie saying, "Film that sand." Yeah. Look at that sand.
You know what? I haven't seen West Side Story, but West Side Story, the remake, Steven Spielberg, probably better than Denis Villeneuve's Dune.
Villeneuve, whatever.
I don't even know what The Last Daughter is. All right. I'm the movie guy on this half of the team, and I should know what The Last Daughter is.
I believe it's
Never heard
the
of it.
sequel of The Penultimate Daughter.
That would be fantastic.
I know, right? It's kind of like no, it's The Lost Daughter, not Last Daughter. Oh, now my joke doesn't work.
Your joke doesn't work.
It doesn't
Anyways,
work.
screenplay: Licorice Pizza, Belfast, Power of the Dog, Don't Look Up, which is the movie with Leonardo
Wait.
DiCaprio.
So who are you picking?
And
Wait, who are you
then-
picking for
and
director?
then-
Who are you picking for director? Who's going to win?
Shit, I'm gonna probably guess Power of the Dog because I haven't seen West Side Story. No one should root for Dune. I don't know what The Last Daughter is, and Belfast is probably not gonna win.
I haven't seen West Side Story, but for some
Being the
reason, I
Ricardo,
feel like
Aaron
West Side
Sorkinson.
Story. I feel like West Side Story is going to win a lot of awards for some reason.
No one's seeing it. Everyone wants to resist it because it's a remake to a movie that they already love. Probably could use a remake. I've never seen the original West Side Story. What about you, Mike Fish?
No, it's not my bag, baby.
Not my bag either, but I bet it's a fantastic remake.
Because other than the singing and the dancing, I'm sure it's fantastic.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg, he's always wanted to make a musical. This is it. It's probably going to be pretty goddamn fantastic, but I haven't seen it as of this point. So
What's the next category you wanted to talk about?
that's it.
What, just the director? I thought you had one more.
No, it's no player. We went through the writers already.
Okay. So the one I'm actually like interested, again, not that I care what the Hollywood Foreign Press thinks, because again,
Might as well.
boo them. But category television, best television series drama. 5 nominees: Lupin, The Morning Show, Pose, Squid Game, and Succession. Now, obviously, because of all the hype and blah, blah, yada, 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 Squid Game is obviously going to win that. But that is a fantastic category because those are, I mean, I admit I haven't seen The Morning Show, but I've heard good things. But Lupin is fantastic. Pose is fantastic.
Okay.
Squid Game is fantastic. And Succession is very, very good. That's a very, like, stacked category. And
I know Kush and Kai is always pushing the Succession. I have not seen Lupin, but have not heard a bad thing about it.
it's very good.
That's not with Idris Elba, is it?
No, it's a French TV show that was
Yeah.
dubbed by Netflix for English people, which
Okay.
I know I must be. I'm normally one of those. I haven't got a word, but when I'm like boring people, who's like, oh no, I don't want to watch dub stuff or I don't want to read subtitles and blah, 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 blah. I'm normally one of those people. But
Okay.
when I watched, as the person in that mindset, I watched this dubbed show and I was like, this is awesome. So
Dig it.
hats off to them. Lupin, fantastic. Pose is very good. Although is this, do you think they vote on the entire body or is it like the stuff that came out, literally the recent season that came out in the last year for the case of the awards?
I think if they voted on what they saw, I think everybody that's involved in this one particular body of work is so busy that they haven't seen everything.
So yeah, in that case, I'd probably strike Pose out because this recent season was good, but it wasn't their best.
I've heard Pose is very good.
I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it, but yes, I think all the hype success. Squid Game's going to win. Squid Game's going to win that one. I think Squid Game's going to win a lot.
I've only seen Squid Game. It's good.
Yeah, I've seen Squid Game because I forced you to watch it.
Yeah.
That was. And then also, I'm not gonna. I always wondered why in these kind of award shows, where they, for some reason, connect musical or comedy, like they put those into the same category. I don't know why. It's always weird. Where they have like drama and then they have musical or comedy. But I don't.
Yeah, it's a weird category, so I don't pay attention to it.
But hopefully Ted Lasso wins that because I'm a big fan of Ted Lasso. Shout out to Ted.
Ted Lasso, believe the hype. Yeah, really good. First season better than the second season, but believe the hype.
All right. Well, good luck to everyone, I guess. Hope you win the award that doesn't change anything in your life. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for episode 28 of Waffle Box. Of course, if you are watching us on the YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. ding ding, that little bell, so you get notifications when we upload a new video. Of course, yep, hit us up on our socials. I am Mr. Mike Fish, and the man to my right is
Mr. Kush Hayes.
no, you're not. You're Kush _ Hayes.
Oh, I'm Kush _ Hayes. Excuse me.
You had one job. One. Anyway, check us out at Waffle Box Pod. Enjoy wafflebox.com for all the good links. And of course, if you do wish to want to support the show, make sure you go to wafflemerch.com where you can get some awesome stuff. I was hoping to show you some merch today, but for some reason, our store, when they printed it, they gave it to UPS, and then apparently UPS handed it off to United States Postal Service. So it's kind of like it's changed hands many times, and so it's kind of running late. But next week, you are going to show you a fine merchandise. But then, of course, we still obviously have the Waffle Box stuff, where obviously all proceeds for that, all profits go to the New Jersey Humane Society No Kill Dog Shelter. So go to wafflemerch.com, check it out, spend your money because you got nothing better to buy it, spend it on, because you have nothing going for you because you're watching or listening to this. And if you're watching or listening to this, then you must be bored. That's all I'm saying. It's a good sale for this, good pitch for this show, right?
Good pitch. Good pitch.
Make sure you check out bosnet.family as well, coming up in the next 7 days. What the good people at Bosnet Family got to look forward to on those podcasts?
Today, as we're talking, we dropped Kush and Kai, number 60, The Long Kiss Goodnight. We are expanding upon our Gina Davis is an awesome action hero, and you can be a part of it. Check us out. Kush and Kai, number 60, Long Kiss Goodnight. Otherwise, check out Microdose. We're going to bring you a little something special. TBD. You have to check it out.
And then next week is going to be our final original show before Christmas.
Season finale.
I guess season finale. But then a little special for those who have Spotify. We have a Spotify exclusive podcast coming out. It's going to be dropping Christmas Eve. Just to give you a little, taste of it. Basically, what it's going to be. The reasoning why it's a Spotify exclusive is because then we get to play music on the show. So we don't get sued. So Spotify handling all the legal stuff on that, luckily. So what we're going to be doing is just talking about our favorite Christmas songs, and then we're actually going to play them. So it's something you can put on where we'll be talking in the background, but then there'll be Christmas music, so you can listen to it Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, whenever you want to listen to it. There'll be other people involved in that as well, talking about their favorite Christmas songs. One I'm most excited about is someone who made famous from Whose Lines It Anyway, Mr. Greg Proops is going to be talking about his favorite music, Christmas song. And
that's so cool.
Play that. So cool. I'm so happy you did that. Thank you, Greg Proops. So look out for that. It's going to be dropping Christmas Eve on Spotify only, so we can actually play the music. And if you have Spotify Premium, that helps as well. So you actually get the full song rather than a 30 second clip, whatever. But yeah, check out that. All the stuff, the information on that. Check us out on our socials again at Waffle Box Pod on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. That's it. Until next week, don't forget, take care of yourselves and each other.